listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast by Dr. T. Michael W. Halcomb, Dr. Fredrick J. Long, Dr. Mario Melendez, Dr. Jennifer Noonan, and J. M. Smith. Welcome and enjoy.
Good morning or afternoon or whatever time it is where you are. I'm Fred Long on Proof Text, and we're doing some constituent marking. We've been working through 1 Corinthians 12, and we'll get through chapter 13 eventually, and probably 14. I love this passage of Scripture. It's so intricate, and Paul is working out an argument on spiritual giftedness and the integration of the body, proper motivation for spiritual gifts, and the practice of spiritual giftedness, and particularly understanding really spiritual persons. Who are and what are spiritual persons, and how do we understand them? So in this process of this argument development, he is talking about body parts, and we're seeing that in verse 17 here. I'll read the Greek text. Below is the legend for those of you who can see if you want to learn how to do this constituent marking. But I'll read the Greek text and mark it up, and hopefully those of you who might be here listening in can understand what I'm doing. So 17 has two parts. There's two questions. The punctuation there provided by the Greek editors of the text. And it makes sense because we do have interrogative adverbs there in the text. So we'll talk about that. But we have this. We have I olon to soma ophthalmos pu e akoe. So that's 17a. So I see an E epsilon iota with a smooth breathing mark is a conjunction. I put a box around it. E means if, and then you have olon to soma. Olon is an adjective of quantity, number, or amount. They have some kind of strange occurrences in formation, I should say location. When they're modifying a noun, they don't attributively. Typically, we'd like to see them kind of squeeze in between the article and the noun, or we have the article repeated, and then we might have the adjective. But these adjectives resist articles, and they are sometimes freely put in front of the construction. And so you find some interesting things. In my Koine Greek grammar, when I discuss these types of adjectives, I talk about this kind of thing. So you see it with pas, upon. Sometimes it's squeezed in between there, sometimes not. And this sorts of things. Same with the polus, which means many, pas meaning all. So if the whole body, so we're going to translate this as if it is attributive. If the whole body is, and then here we have an implied verb. There's no verb present, but we can supply one. If the whole body, ophthalmos, and I'm going to single underline that. So basically everything is single underlined here except for the conjunction, the subordinating conjunction, E at the front. And in a translation, we're supplying an implied verb is. So if the whole body is ophthalmos, an eye, pu e akoe. Akoe means hearing. Where is the hearing? Pu is an interrogative adverb which gets a dotted box or circle. Where is the hearing? Once again, the verb is implied, and it's interesting that after some rather complex sentences in the previous two verses or so, that now Paul is using a terse kind of logic, kind of a tight if-then. If-then, the then is implied with the condition. And also questions, where is the hearing? And then we're going to see next, where is the smelling? So, the same kind of pattern repeats in the second part of the verse 17b. So, I olon akoe pu e os phrases. osphrasis. And here, the grammar, the syntax is even more compact because olon, you have e olon, it's implying soma. The soma is implied. And then instead, we just get the predicate nominative e akoe. And if the whole body implied, the body's implied. If the whole body is hearing, then pu e osphrasis. Where is the smelling? Where is the smelling? Okay, so very terse, concise, really rhetorical here. We see a parallelism. There is a syndeton. There is no connectors connecting to the previous verse and sentence, I should say. And even within verse 17, you have a syndeton as well, 17a and 17b, but you clearly have parallelism going on. And you can just see that the construction is paralleled. And so Paul is kind of on a little bit of a flourish here, asking questions, really driving home the point. And he's also using what's called a present simple condition, which is a type of conditional clause and sentence setup where you have e with the indicative followed by a indicative, present indicative. So e with indicative followed by present indicative, present simple condition. It's not a general truth. It is simply stating kind of, the way he's presenting it is a matter of fact. This is, in fact, the matter of fact right now. And so I think that directness is really part of his rhetoric as he's making the case that if in fact the whole body were only one thing, then you'd be missing some other sense. So if the whole body is an eye, you wouldn't have hearing. If the whole body was hearing, you wouldn't have the smell. Yeah. And osphrasis here, I just have to keep looking at osphrasis. The cis noun is kind of interesting. Nouns that end with cis are a process. They tend to be profiling processes. So here we're talking about the smelling, the sense of smelling, the ongoing smelling that is a process that we constantly are smelling. And if we're all the hearing, then we're missing out on the smelling. All right, well, I hope you found that helpful. And we're going to continue with verse 18 next time and look forward to having you listen or watch then. Take care.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glossa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glossa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glossahouse.com today. Glossa House, language resources for the global community.